So recall that the kidney is retroperitoneal. So the outer part of the kidney is a capsule. So what we're looking at is the renal capsule. Then what we're seeing here is the hilus of the kidney, which is where the blood supply and the ureter exit the kidney. And what we're seeing is a renal artery, a renal vein, and then the renal pelvis, the end of the renal pelvis right here. So if we cut it open, what we'll be able to see is that internally the kidney is constructed different through this area here than out here. So this is the renal cortex, and what we're seeing here is the renal medulla. And so within the cortex, if we could see it microscopically, we would see the renal corpuscles with the Bowman's capsule that surround them and the glomerulus inside. So all of the blood vessels we're seeing out here, the little red ones like this, are arteries, and the blue ones we're seeing are veins. So those would be the interlobular arteries and veins going out to those renal corpuscles where filtration would occur. So these dark masses right here are the renal medulla, and in particular the renal pyramids. So remember, within the renal pyramids we would have ascending and descending loops of Henle and collecting ducts that are concentrating the urine. So all of this white stuff is dense connective tissue, and so what we're seeing is the collection pattern within the kidney itself. So what's kind of cool is this and this, where we see this round and the round here, these were minor calyces that were all arising from a renal pyramid, and then when minor calyces come together they form major calyx. So that's what we're seeing in this area here. Maybe we can pull this out and actually see that pattern, which is really kind of cool to see with the latex. Is that what we're seeing here are minor calyces, the little round things here, all coming together to form a major calyx, which then all would have come together in this area here, which would be the renal pelvis that we're seeing. And the blood vessels we're seeing in the columns here, remember, would be interlobar arteries and veins, and then they would arc around the interface between the renal pyramid and the cortex. So arcuates would be found in this area here. Unfortunately, when they put a lot of latex in like this, sometimes a blood vessel ruptures, so we have quite a bit of blue outside of blood vessels. Then what we're seeing here would be the major branches off of the renal artery, and so we would be seeing segmental arteries. That's what the red is here, is a segmental artery, and over here leading to the interlobars, which would be going through the columns right here. And then this is kind of a cool, what we're seeing here is this is a renal papilla, which is the end of a renal pyramid, and this was the minor calyx associated with it, the round thing that we're looking in, that was leading to this major calyx that we're seeing. So when you do this, it's kind of fun you can take a scalpel or you can take a knife, a pair of scissors, and you can kind of cut this tissue, and then as you pull it back, you can kind of see how this network of minor calyces, major calyces, and the renal pyramid all come together to supply a mechanism by which urine is collected and carried away from the kidney. So, and then if you'll recall, if we have minor calyces, then between minor calyces we have little depressions which we call renal sinuses, and these depressions would contain adipose tissue, typically in a kidney, so we can see the depressed areas between these minor calyces. This one's pretty good right here.